Hello, I'm Nathan, and this is my podcast on genre. Now, in my opinion, one of the best genres is the comedy genre. A reason for this is because it's incredibly hard to do and incredibly hard to master. And if you can perfect comedy and pull it off, then it makes your film a lot more special and hold a lot more value because you've been able to take something as hard as comedy and make it a success. Now, a good example of someone who knows how to do comedy right is Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright is known for doing the Cornetto trilogy, which consists of A World's End, Shaun of the Dead, and Hot Fuzz. These films are great because they are very different from each other, yet very similar at the same time, which adds to the comedy. For example, Shaun of the Dead is a horror comedy, and Hot Fuzz is a crime comedy. So in Shaun of the Dead, you'd be able to have jokes and gags associated with a horror and the horror conventions, whereas in Hot Fuzz, you'd be able to make jokes and have gags about the crime conventions, which is really unique and is really good. An example of Edgar Wright's comedy is he usually has the camera very close to the actor's face when comedy is going on. He usually has objects coming in from the sides of the cameras to add comedic effect and to put characters in uncomfortable situations. And he usually uses environmental gags, such as in Hot Fuzz. The guy with the cloak has just robbed a shop, supposedly, and Simon Pegg he jumps over this fence and clears it and carries on running. And then Nick Frost is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I can do that. I'm gonna be awesome." And he tries to jump over the fence. It fails miserably. The fence collapses, and it's just hilarious. It's funny. I have a quote here from a website called So Theory Goes, which explains Edgar Wright's style of comedy in a really good, brief, descriptive way. Quote, Wright works fundamentally within the comedy genre, choosing to hybrid this with other popular genres, whether it be horror, crime, or science fiction. Furthermore, he has a tendency to pay homage through pastiches of these famous genres. For example, the American bro cop film within the British set Hot Fuzz. His style of comedy is very dark and features heavy amounts of sarcasm and wit throughout his character's mise-en-scène and small motifs within his films. This quote basically says that Edgar Wright works with the comedy genre more than not, and he hybridizes it with other genres like horror, crime, or science fiction, as I said before, and he uses he makes his characters have dark humor, he makes them very witty, and every time you see a character on screen, they're going to be saying something funny, they're going to be witty, or they're going to be saying something in a very sarcastic way, which is another reason why Edgar Wright is really good at comedy, and another example of how you can make comedy work. This is now, however, the end of the podcast. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you later.